here for the second live that we traditionally do. I know lately we've been having one live a day earlier in the day, but I'm thankful, blessed, privileged, and also relieved that my son's doing good. He fell asleep right now, so he'll probably be asleep until, who knows, 10, 11 o'clock, and then we'll be up until 2, our normal thing, and then he'll get up for school, after falling back to sleep. But nonetheless, we've got a lot to touch base with on crypto. If you're watching, please make sure to hit that like button. There's a link in the video description below under our pinned comments if you're interested in joining Tom's Army to help pay it forward and help support this community. As a thank you, there's a link upon signing up for the exclusive Telegram. Just under 500 members, like-minded members that can help you progress in ways you never thought possible. It's a truly spectacular thing. So I appreciate everybody being here. There's also a link to the tier 1 exchange KRAKEN. That's where I buy that's where a lot of my stuff is at now. I don't do anything with no KYC exchanges now, so don't even ask. I don't do anything with leverage, so I'm not even entertaining it. I want to do this in a more efficient way where we're focusing on these spot positions, because for us to be seriously taking a level up approach, it's not going to come from the gambling mindset. It's got to come from the investing mindset. So I took it a step further. I even deleted my sports betting app. And I was actually doing pretty good number-wise, but what I noticed is I was starting to move more towards the gambling mindset. So I don't like to have that mindset. So when I feel myself pulling one way or the other, I'll make a drastic change. So made a drastic change. So it's going to benefit all of you because my focus becomes refined. And it's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So anyhow, I thank everybody for tuning in. I don't know how much this is being pushed around because when I started this, it did not tell me I was live, which is not a good sign for everybody else. I'm very blessed to see that there's 41 people in here. And if you don't see this and you're seeing this after, I apologize. I don't know why it's loading so poorly, but I can tell you I didn't get anything, so I'll just share it myself. I thank the 30 people that have hit the like button as well. So while I'm sharing this, I'll just do the intro. I do have it darker in here, but I put on a little bit of, I guess you could call them Halloween lights. So good. Some of you did get the notification. That's awesome. At least some of you did, because I didn't get it on Julie's computer. I didn't get it on my tablet nor my phone, which I'm not surprised, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Live. I want to share it for the ones who are join live discussion XRP. I don't think I did the intro, did I? Whoops. Good evening. 6:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. I'm XRP future millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Tony says, good for you. You will likely go through withdrawals. Yes, I can tell you for a fact, and it's not like a withdrawal from like doing drugs, but it's similar because of the dopamine. Sunday and Monday, I was feeling it because I'm like, I can look through an anomaly. I didn't watch sports at all. And I want to get back to just watching them for the sport. Otherwise, what's the point? And yeah, the problem was I had some like $50 bets that turn into 1,200 and things like that. And it gets your dopamine levels rising. But as much as that's great, it takes away a lot of your time. And then it progresses from other avenues. Like then you might be more, I want to do a levered up trade, or I want to do a levered ETF now instead of just doing it. It bleeds into everything else. But you're right about that. You said you will go through withdrawals when you have your skills. It's got to be hard not to level up your return. That it is hard, but I do have skills. But at the same time, with manipulation, there's no set trend. So I've seen it both ways, to where a sure thing, it's very beginning, and I don't mean like a sure thing before the bet, but as the bet's going on, you're looking at it. Maybe you have a 3-leg parlay, and you start watching something, and it happened in the Michigan game. I didn't bet on it, but I seen it developing. Marshall needed 72 yards rushing, or 74 yards. He has 71 yards in the first quarter, or first half. No, first quarter, and then all of a sudden he doesn't play anymore. And then when he comes in, it's already way down the line. They don't hand the ball off to him and they just throw it to him. I know he had a hurt shoulder, but the fact they kept bringing him in to throw the ball to him. So it's things like that, and you would see that. But anyhow, it's beyond all of that. The gambling mindset, I don't want to deal with. And that's the same thing. It's just you gamble with one thing, you gamble on another thing, and then the gambling mindset takes over. I got to go. So it's kind of like sometimes you got to flush out the demon, so to say. And then I'm drinking this drink that Julie, it's an elixir. It's got reishi, chaga, and turkey tail mushroom in it. And I wouldn't eat any of the three because I can't eat that kind of stuff. But I'll drink this. So I drink an elixir, drinking it during the live, and it's pretty nice actually. But yeah, trying to get my center of balance back, and it's gonna benefit everybody. When my center is better, I like it this way. More focus. Because now look, opportunity everywhere. So XDC tends to react a little bit late, stuck in what I think is this descending formation right now. And everybody, I think, has the same universal question. When is the time for XDC? And I can tell you right now, and I'm not going to talk so much about how much of a position I have but hands down, this is my biggest investment. Maybe not by dollar size because of how much XRP went up, but the amount I invested in it. And it's to the tune of, like 300,000 tokens. I didn't say that. So, and it's going to get bigger because I think this is the one that I'm setting up my hopes and dreams on. And yeah, I have others. Like I love Band. A lot of people don't realize it's the main oracle for the XRP launcher, but they don't tell people that. But I like Band, I like Linea, I like SHX. And Fast SHX, I did something yesterday. I talked about doing it, upping it back to 400,000 tokens and just letting it ride because it had that breakdown. It almost seemed like a perfect recipe for a move, but we'll see if this continues. I don't want to talk about the size. I don't know why I keep saying the amount. I try to be transparent, but like I see certain things with this sector, and I think with how undervalued we are at some point, like I love Axelar. I love things like Epic, dirt cheap, but it's where's the lowest possible area it can go? And we might not be there yet. Like right now, it's like the title says, XRP up 7% on day. And I asked, is the bottom in, or is crypto bracing for Bitcoin to retest rising wedge breakout? And that's an important distinction and question because could we have bottomed? Maybe. But we also have to pay attention to the very real possibility that even if we didn't bottom, we need to come up here and retest the rising wedge. So now every asset is prepping for that in crypto. And we have a possibility to have a short squeeze up. And it's going to be phenomenal. It also looks like gold and silver leading into the 9th. I don't want to get ahead of myself because every time I think we're going to get a correction, what happens? It just shoots up to the next one. But this is important and vital for this next move in crypto. We need a little cool off here. We need this to come at least down here so we can have some of this money flow solidly so people can go from risk on or back into risk on. Even though gold and silver can be considered both risk on and off, it's better in a risk off environment because all the money where people are afraid to risk it, they go into these assets. But I think silver, and it's crazy. Ooh, this is not the greatest thing. I am not a mushroom grabber. Oh, God. I said it was good. I lied. Ugh. Tony, you're right. I take it back. Everything I said, I take back about that. Anyhow, let's see. Okay, so we need to focus on with the rising wedge. So with Bitcoin, where would that allow us to come to? So we have one of two things. One, we're going to get rejected in this box, and that would be, we're right about there, 92,443. We know this. That's the 20-day. That could be the rejection. And the rejection on the death cross nonetheless in the daily. But if we want to come up here, it's not typical where you don't come back up and retest that rising wedge breakdown. It doesn't happen very often with a pattern that big and that pronounced. And like, remember the earlier one that we debated? Before we had the ultimate kick, and we debated whether or not we had a short rising wedge, remember? Like maybe it's a rising wedge from this level. And remember, it had the artificial move up. So what did we do? We adapted. And yeah, although you could do it like that, we adapted and said, okay, well, it starts here. And that, I mean, you could come through here. You theoretically could come through something like maybe something like this, right? So you can see how that whole pattern it plays through. We just put it up towards the top where it created like the three peaks up there. So, you know, there's a lot of opportunity that this could, in fact, be coming up to retest that breakdown. We came through, and I'm sorry for all the numbers, but I guess we can balance it out a little bit now that they're farther through. I just had them on both sides when it was in the you know, most volatile moments. But we've come through where the fair value gap was on Bitcoin. We cleared that all the way through. Now we're trying to see if that's a bullish or bearish area. We also had to come all the way through the futures where we cleared. So far using it as support area after coming through volatilely once, hitting it ultra volatile once again, and now reversing very nicely in the very next daily candle. Now we're in real time trying to see if the CME, the Chicago Merchant, I call it the Mercantile Exchange, but the Chicago Merchant Exchange, because it's like a slaughterhouse over there, so I call them the mercantiles. We held all of that, but that's different than the Bitcoin futures, or the Bitcoin FVG, I should say. That's a fair value gap. So now we're trying to see if this area is bullish, and honestly, the way it went down, the way it came back up, looking pretty bullish here. If it can push out of here. 4 hourly's getting a little oversold here. I mean, overbought. Daily time frame's overbought. Weekly time frame massively oversold. Looks like it's about to pull a W. Think about it. I mean, the monthly, close to the oversold now. Ooh. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, I would love to hear what everybody has to say. So that I think that's what crypto's bracing for. I think we're bracing for this retest. In the weekly, look at how this is pulled back now. We could be trying to form something here. We got a lot of liquidity around 100K, 101K. And this would be a strategic time. I mean, everybody is, remember when it got to the bottom this time? Everybody said, I remember in chat, there was not everybody, but a lot of people were stating, I want to buy right now, but I'm out of funds. I heard that a lot. Like, I bought the dip so many times that now there's nothing left. And then you're like, ooh, that's not what they want to hear, but that's important. Let's see what the crypto fear and greed index says on this now. That can't be right. Oh, 35 minutes. I was going to say it's got to reset soon. So during this live, I'll still be on in 35 minutes. I've only been on for 13 minutes, so definitely will still be live. I love seeing everybody in here. I'm glad so many of you appreciate this in the way that I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you as well. I think we have a great group. 1970 Legend, welcome in. Our only hope left. Well, I guess Indiana's a hope too in the Big Ten to try to win the title. Oregon, I think our best chance would just be Ohio State repeating, honestly. It should make Michigan strive for better because, let's face it, Ohio State is that much better than us. We get a few good years every now and then, but overall, the better program is not in Ann Arbor. It's in Columbus, and I think we all know that. Gailey, welcome in, and good evening from New York City. Look at that. Thank you for the prayers. Yeah, he's doing much better. Had 2 good days at school, so I'm blessed today. I always tell everybody it changes so quick with him that every day is a good day. I just appreciate it, and we thank our Lord and Savior. We give grace. We try to humble ourselves and improve ourselves, and like I'm trying to dedicate myself even deeper. I think in a different way. In fact, I have a meeting at the church on Sunday morning. Not like with anybody in particular. I just have a meeting with the Lord, so I'm going to meet him at service on Sunday morning. Reacquaint myself after a month and a half away because of medical things and such with my son. So I got a date with the higher power. Um, oh, I appreciate you too, Frankie Fresh. I really do. I've been watching everybody just roll on the Telegram too. I love seeing all the commitment. I love seeing everybody trying to learn. It's giving me a lot of ideas too, especially the ones who are. Yeah, but we'll get into that later. But you're welcome, everybody. Thank you, Syrian, too, for being a very trusted mod in here, along with Crypto Cooter. And Syrian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, and you are welcome. Thank you so much for all your dedication. It means a lot to me. And Crypto Cooter, thanks for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Frankie Fresh, give Janine my love. Hopefully she's doing well. Hope she's doing well. If you're watching, you are such a blessing to me. Mick, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Maple Man, not the Milkman. He comes on Wednesday, the Maple Man. When do I expect my maple? But thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, Dan. I think that's Dan. Who knows? They keep changing the names on me. Tony, welcome in. You've seen the reaction to these little elixir. UK Phil, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So badge. My old Fortnite buddy. Simpsons thing wasn't so bad, but I have no idea what's going on. I haven't been on in like 2 weeks. Maybe tonight. But thank you, and it's all in a losing. And also Bob Burtner. Damn it, Bob. For being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So badge. Love it. I could get Bob out here, but then he's going to start singing, and we don't really want to hear that, and then it's just going to go in some weird way. People are already leaving by the handful. Saying, how dare this guy say hello to everybody and not talk about the technicals. I know I do some weird stuff saying hi to everybody. Bright Future, welcome in. And Garbanzo, thank you both for being in Towns 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Let's see. Mo, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. How dare me make that mistake. Mark, welcome in. Mr. Korf, appreciate you. John and Ellen, good evening. If I missed somebody, I did miss somebody. Bad Guy, welcome in. Your badge upgraded to over 6 months now with the XRP Predictor. Excellent. Maple Man says, laugh out loud, Tom. I will bring you and your family a fresh bottle of maple syrup next spring after we are done boiling. I promise. Oh, man, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. You really are the king. Look at that. They knew to give you the king badge next year. Look at that. Thank you. The thought makes me smile. Yes, UK folk. Please do. Please, I look forward to that. Randad, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. How awesome is that? Thank you for all that dedication. He's been here since before the one of the first runs, actually, that we were watching in crypto. See, we've seen this a few times, so we're not shaken. We know the community or the actual traders and people who like crypto are battered and beaten and bruised, but we know up here what's coming. So I think we're still in very good shape here. I do. I think we're in really good shape here. I think that if you're looking for this from a perspective of long term, you're not shook. You're looking for every opportunity to advance a little bit deeper. I don't think this is a trader's market right now. I think, in fact, in some of these, the traders that end up bailing on a position to try to do it lower after we've already had these historic liquidity wicks, and the fact we haven't retested that rising wedge, every drop from here is dangerous that you won't be able to get back in. Unless we retest that rising wedge and we make a new low under 80K, that would be your signal to a 72 or 59 drop. But right now, we don't have that evidence. We don't have the resistance built, and we certainly don't have the liquidity stand in between. Does that mean it can't fall through? Absolutely not. But I'm just saying, when you build a prerogative, like, it seems like we're going liquidity hunting. I think I liked what MQ was saying, and Nick and a few others in the Telegram, how they were saying that this should be the correction back up, but there was those volatility wicks, like they go volatile for the liquidity hunt. So even though it's meant to go up, they can still come down to grab those liquidity. And then right when you think it's got no choice but to break through, it builds a very unified inverse head, which could still extend down. And I like what MQ was trying to tell people in the Telegram. I watch all of it. He said that even though it's building the support at $1.98, it doesn't mean that it can't come down and extend the base down to like $1.89 to $1.92 area, just because you could have those liquidity crunches down, and it could be even like a zone where you get some kind of supply there, because there is a lot of demand. So you could get people that are like, oh, this is a resupply zone, so I can get in here, if I miss there, and then you could have an overexpansion. But we didn't have that so far. The overexpansion didn't happen. It ended up rounding at $1.98. Pretty much like MQ said, he's been talking about it for like a month, I feel like. Maybe a couple weeks. I know he was on point because I felt the same thing coming back down into that area. But he's been talking about $1.98 pretty verbatim and saying, yes, I know it can come to $1.77 or yes, $1.50. He's talked about those two, but he was saying, and I think a lot of people got a lot of help out of that. I think a lot of people were able to get some inspiration out of what he was saying. Because then when it hit $1.98 and kind of teetered there, went to 204, then immediately came back down to $1.98. Now you're looking at it and you're saying, oh my God, there's some symmetry. This guy really knows what I already knew that. A lot of people already know that. But if it's your first time watching him or Nick, they're pretty damn good when it comes to those levels that it needs the target. Now, none of us have a crystal ball, so we don't know if it's going to rebound exactly off that point. But this is a hell of a lot more than just me. And I think if you haven't paid it forward and joined Tom's Army or been lucky enough to get a gifted sub, which most people don't re-up, but it is what it is. You go into Tom's Army because if you join Tom's Army, you get the Telegram. It's right there. You get it immediately. That's my gift to all of you if you do it. But we tried to do it to everybody, but we got so many spammers we couldn't do it. But they know a lot of stuff. They know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff. Imagine when I know a lot of stuff and I know that they know a lot of stuff and they know a lot of stuff and they know I know a lot of stuff and we all become a team. And then the next person who knows a lot of stuff and then the next person who doesn't know a lot of stuff but desires to know a lot of stuff, then learns a lot of stuff, then craves to teach a lot of stuff. It's a perpetual swing. We're creating the pendulum right now and it's swinging in our favor. We just have to stay united. I'm serious. The pendulum's supposed to break. We can keep it going stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger to where eventually it only swings one way, and that's what we're trying to do here. That's why I'm so excited about the classes. It's a whole different venture. It has nothing to do with the Telegram or the YouTube. It's not even going to have the same email. It's going to be a business. Like you'll see when it happens. But it can create a unified thing from the bottom up in a different way. It's going to be inexpensive. I mean, $50 might be expensive to some, but it's going to be a fun venture when it's ready. And that's not going to affect my YouTube. I'm still going to be here just as much. It doesn't affect my pay, all my free content. That's something different. That's not even about crypto or, by virtue it is, but that's a whole different entity. That's for people who really want to learn that have a different style of learning. They need to do it from a classroom setting. It's no different than going to a class twice a week, 8 times a month for 4 months. So, but I'm excited to take this to the next level and make this a closer thing. And that's my way. It'll help me fund for my family. It'll help me fund so I don't have to go outside and be a financial advisor, go outside and work at a stock brokerage, or it'll help me advance for my son who's special needs so that I can pay for his stuff in the future because his stuff is expensive. It just is the way it goes. And it'll help me expand for myself without having to do paid sponsorships, without having to do some cheesy promotion and taking cheap money. Because that's what if I can avoid it forever, I will. But if it comes to my son and there comes a point where I got to take some of this cheap money, I will do that also because he comes first. So I don't know how much this stuff's going to cost. So I figure if I bet on myself with what I know and you all bet it with me, I can't lose, and it'll be my own self-sustained, self-driven, and self-motivating and self-taught. And then all of you can learn, and then you can do the same thing. Hold on, Ghost. Let me let you out. I'm going to let my cat out. Come here, kitty. I hope that makes sense. So I'm very driven. Very driven. I'm self-driven. Mark Korf, thank you so much for the gifted sub, my friend. He gifted to Logan. Welcome into Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Don't forget to give thanks to Mr. Korf because that's a very generous act. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. 1970 legend, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge. A very trusted mod. Congratulations on beating Michigan, the defending champion, going to the Big Ten championship to represent the Big Ten. And I have a lot of faith in Ohio State. I think they are the cream of not just the Big Ten, but I think they're the best team in college football. And I think they've been for a couple decades outside of winning the national championships to the level that like Alabama did. But right now, I think they're the cream of the crop. So he says, oh, with a $9.99 donation as well. He says, come down to Indy and I'll buy you a ticket. I'll be there with my nephew. Oh, I wish I could. I really do. Just so hard for me to get away. I'm afraid to go away for a half hour with the way my son is. So it gets a little tricky. Who knows? Maybe one day, though, I could drive him down and we could stay at a hotel or something down near. And then, obviously, I wouldn't be driving down because I don't drive, but Julie, because of my eye. But I appreciate that 1970 legend. I'll be rooting for you. Everybody thinks I'm crazy because I always root for Ohio State when they're going for championships and stuff. But hey, if I can't root for the Big Ten because my team's not as good, I always told everybody, like, I'm not a sour loser. I'm actually a very gracious loser. Even when I used to play sports, I'd be devastated, I'd be defeated, I'd be deflated. But I was always a gracious loser, and I was an even more gracious winner. I'd always get sick to my stomach when I'd see teams winning championships and people just bragging and mocking the other team they beat. So then when I got to that stage and I won championships, I did in football, basketball, bowling, baseball. I coached them and played them. But I was always the gracious winner, and I was always my team's getting out there when we come in second place because I've been on both sides. There's nothing that hurts worse than getting to a championship and losing. Oh yeah, I've had it both ways. I've been the underdog and by some miracle made a run in the playoffs when we barely got in and won the championship over an undefeated team. And I've also been the team that I thought was going to win a championship to get beat in a very tough championship to a team that was slightly better than us, and I knew it, but I still thought we could beat them. And then my best player broke his ankle, so you never know what's going to happen. But you got to be gracious in defeat, because if you can be gracious in defeat or keep your emotion in check in major losses in crypto, that's a defeat. Imagine how much more prepared you'll be in a big moment. And I think what's happening in crypto right now is an immaculate moment. Not in the sense of being clean, but immaculate. I don't remember the word. Tom Janine wants you to make your picture a little bigger so she can see your beautiful face. I don't know if I can. I think this is as big as it lets me. Hold on. It's restricted on here on my tablet. Yeah, see, I can go small. I am so small. Help. Where'd I go? You know, I can go small. Hi, everybody. I'm Small Tom. Maybe this will make everybody happy. So when we have bad news, I might just go small like this. All right? But this is as big as it lets me go. I wish I could. And thank you, Janine. What a compliment. My beautiful face, huh? I love it. What if I sit closer? No. I like Mini Tom. I like Mini Tom. That's a great way. Everybody does like Mini Tom. I kind of like Mini Tom. Remember in Mario Kart when you run over the mushroom and then you're like, and then you become Mini Mario, mini people. She's always solving it as far as you can. Oh, always zooming in the front. Hey, I'm sorry. I got a pimple bigger than Mini Tom. Mini Tom's kind of interesting. Hi, I'm coming at you from inside of my hut in Antarctica. It's pretty dark here. It's so small right there that I can barely even see the lights behind me now. But anyhow, let's get back to some serious business. We got serious business to attend to. We got about a foot here in Vermont. Oh, you got a foot of snow in Vermont. Excellent. Excellent. How do you get in the Telegram, the Gatman? Easy. So you're in Tom's Army. All you have to do is go on YouTube, which, you know, it's convenient for you. You're already on YouTube. So click on my page, XRP Future Millionaire. Go to memberships. And then if you are in Tom's Army, you go to the perks. And it shows the perks, but you can view them. And then there's a link for the exclusive Telegram. See it right there, exclusive Telegram? That's for the members of Tom's Army. You just click on the exclusive Telegram link. I can't do it because I'm already on here. I'm in a live. But that's what you can do. You just click on that, and that's for the members of Tom's Army. Well, I probably shouldn't be showing it. So that's how you do it. Just in the membership area on YouTube, and that goes for anybody who's in Tom's Army, been gifted a sub, yada, yada, yada. If you try to scam us, you're a dick, but you'll be booted out. And the only rule is you get no second chances. So run things with integrity, and you are cool as fuck. If you're a dick, well, you know, there's only one way. You got to leave, and not by choice. You'll just be gone. You don't even know. You're not even going to know what happened. You're just going to be gone. Then you'll lose my respect on here. I'm not going to talk to you. And then, you know, that's just, you don't want to go down that road. Too many people have. They try to get back in my good grace, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they never will. If you're going to take advantage of somebody's house, you know, and not respect it, you shouldn't have much time for them. But anyhow, Fan picked up some volume here the last few days, which is very interesting. It's picked up about 7 to 10 times the volume it normally did. You know, so you can see a little bit of a surge. It's just, we've come back down to 44 cents. But we're back testing where the golden cross would play out. I don't know. Something seems like something's picking up here. I like what Stronghold did, because we came all the way back down, back tested the 10704, which is actually the breakout of this area. It's exactly, well, it's not the breakout, but it's the back test to where we can push out and not break back down to the lower levels. It did it exactly. We circled that area. We didn't know it was going to come all the way back through to that 835 support, but it created a perfect V shape. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders. And if this breaks up now, I mean, you could talk about a big move. Like, this could come all the way back up, and this could shock everybody and go like 150% or so, all the way up to like over 3 cents. That's how crazy this would be. And I'm so blessed that we were able to buy this at 007, like 0078. Imagine if this starts running now. That's an unbelievable buy. And then there was another chance, like I was just talking about, when it came down to 0083 area. But obviously that's come up today now. But it had these chances, even when it came down in the last couple of days, too. But just back here 1 week ago, it came down to 8.2. It had this area down here. Actually, I think it was around 8.28. No, 7.8. See, I knew it came down here, 7.6, so we had it at 7.8. Then it made the push up. But it's come down again even. It came down to 1 cent down here just back in April, but we couldn't buy it yet on the Tier 1 exchange. That's why I'm so happy. Let me see what the pricing looks like with 13%. Because sometimes the volatility, it's weird and wild on the Tier 1 exchange. But KRAKEN is my Tier 1 exchange of choice because you can do KRAKEN Pro and it's so much cheaper than using the other ones. Now, there is some exceptions to the rule. I've talked about why I won't buy DAG on there because the pricing's 13% higher and they can legitimately suck my nuts. I'm not paying 13% more. Don't care how much I like it. But that's the only problem I've run into so far. Let's see where SHX is right now. 11,994 is what it is. So it's up slightly. Slightly. It's not horrible. I would be willing to pay that differential if I was buying it. That's nothing to me. That's fine. That's just an exchange difference. But there's only 281,000 in volume, so there's not a lot of volume. So being at 11,998 is not a horrible area. XDC, on the other hand, is at 5186, and there's a lot of volatility. Within the price, but there's not a lot of exchange trading. There's only 208,000 in volume, it says. 204.5K in volume on the US side. And in Europe, there's only 75.7K for the Euro pair. For CAD, they're 7.3K. So it's pretty similar. Pretty similar. I love looking at all of this. That's on KRAKEN. I like looking at it on there because that's a tier 1 exchange. So 5184, they have it. The price is at 5182. So again, I can live with that. So you can click on each person's circle, pick, and see full size. Oh yeah, yeah, you can. Well, I can't because it's on my stupid tablet, and I'm live. And on Julie's, I guess it won't. I don't know. Batodamus Odele, my friend. Appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. It means a lot to me, my friend, to see you in here still, Batodamus. Mrs. Stott, what a blessing you are to me as well. You and Mr. Stott. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, Mrs. Stott. You're such a kind and considerate person. You have such a kind heart, too. There was somebody else I wanted to shout out here today, too. And it was somebody who was the, just happened to be in the, if you're in Tom's Army, don't forget to check out the Big House Reader's Digest. I wanted to shout out, where was this at? Tango. Tango was this week's honorary member. I wanted to just give a little praise. So this week, we're proud to shine our community spotlight on someone whose presence has become a true anchor in our Telegram family. And anybody in the Telegram should know the name Tango now. Through the thick and thin, the late nights, the volatility, the highs and the lows, one thing has always remained consistent. Tango's unwavering commitment, no matter what's happening in the market or in the chat, you can always count on seeing Tango right there with us, steady, supportive, and fully engaged. Tango is one of those rare members whose loyalty speaks louder than words, always showing up, always contributing, always part of the heartbeat of this community. It's members like Tango who strengthen the foundation and make this group what it is today. So this week, we honor you, Tango. Thank you for your dedication, your energy, and your constant presence. We appreciate you more than you know, and we're grateful to have you as a shining part of this community, of our Telegram family. Here's to you, Tango, always here, always solid, always a part of the community. So we thank you, my friend. We thank you. And he shared something, but I don't want to, for anybody in the Telegram, blah blah blah. And then I had a lot of good stuff about XDC. Some good advice. This was a good edition overall. It really was. But the actual title was the Big Reader's Digest House. Laugh yourself smarter. How humor builds brains. Get in and get out. Sanity saving hacks. By Master FOMO and the teacher that changed my life. How I found confidence. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Traders become faders. I love it. So, but yeah, I've been wanting to get to that, but every time I get through the live, I'm like, oh shit. I wanted to bring that up with Tango. So Tango, thank you so much. And Mrs. Stott just recently shared that honor as well. As you know, I think we went through that last week or the week before. I don't know. Everything's merged together now because my son got sick. Bearded Viking said, and I pray that your little one's doing good. I know you've been down a hard, heart-wrenching journey yourself in a different way, in a scarier way, I think. But at the end of the day, you're getting guidance from the Lord, and I hope your little one's doing as well as possible right now. Amen. Says, just want to say thank you, Tom. I greatly appreciate you and think you are a godsend. Oh, man, I really appreciate that. I think I'm just a vessel in a weird way. But it takes certain things, you know. It took certain things to get me in the line of thinking I'm at. I got humbled a lot. And I think we're all here together for a reason. I believe it. Out of every single page you could have went to, out of everybody who's, you know, maybe not preaching the same way or speaking the same, you found your way here for a reason. And for the ones who stuck around, I truly believe that we've got a mindset of people where we can do something pretty interesting here if we just stay the course. Because I don't think we've done what we were meant to. because this cycle hasn't started. Like maybe for us with XRP it has, and some say this could be the ending phase. If this is the ending phase, you got to say get ready for a crypto winter. I don't think that's where we're going. I've never heard of a crypto winter when we go from quantitative tightening to easing. Have you? I've never heard of a crypto winter where Bitcoin was oversold in the weekly and essentially oversold in the monthly now. I've never seen it. I've never seen a crypto winter when they were doing rate cuts. No, crypto winters happen with rate hikes, quantitative tightening. It really does. So I think we're ass backwards. I think we're going to have one more accelerant pump that's going to be the sell out for everybody who was ever in this early. And I have a conspiracy of my own. I tried to explain it earlier. It got a little miscontorted. No fault of anybody in the audience. I wasn't explaining it properly. I think the big guys, the institutions that were all playing this system where they could hide behind no KYC exchanges, they could hide behind the fact that they could get on unregulated exchanges, knowing that these exchanges aren't going to be dealing with the US government and they'd rather leave this country and ban us all. I think before we all started getting banned and before all this happened, I think they were all willing to trade big amounts of money with the secrecy of I'm not using any kind of identification. I'll pay the tax on whatever exits the market in my main exchange, and I'll have stuff in wallets. And I think they hid behind that. But now with the new progressive bills, especially in 26 that go into place, that's not as easy. So I think what they're doing now that they don't have the let's just say the loophole of being able to not tax avoidance because everybody's paying taxes on crypto, but being able to secretly trade and then claim your exit, your gains, but not necessarily. It's a big, deep thing that I think the rich people do. No different than what they used to do in the stock market before it became heavily regulated. But I think they're actually planning their exit for when all of these new regulations come in, especially as we get closer to 28 and the new biometrics and all the scanning and all of the unregulated exchanges not ever going to be able to be used in the USA. And if they are, they're just going to take your crypto. So it's not even going to be worth the risk. Who cares if you made money? You're not going to be able to cash out. So what I think is that they're actually getting ready for their great escape because right now there's so many different people that are probably using our names anyhow that it's impossible to track them all because I don't even know how many are out in my name right now. People are spamming my name everywhere. So God only knows that they're using my name in their account, which is scary in itself. Okay. I'll listen for tea. I love you. So I think with all the ETFs, it's quite the opposite. I think they're getting ready to make their exit out of crypto. And this is going to be the last big run up. They're going to take all of their money. And then whatever profits they have, they'll pay their taxes on the exit amount, the differential between, what they had, the initial investment, and then whatever they ended up selling out for and the differential. So if they had like 400,000 in the account and they have 200,000 left and there was a 200,000 gain, they'll pay that, the taxes. But now the difference is they're going to have to pay the exchange rate if that's the case, and they're not going to be able to go to the no KYC for the cheaper to send it back and then do. You see what I'm saying? So I think this is actually an exit scheme. Why else would every government tell you to buy? Why else would they make it an actual asset that you can own in your portfolio for retirement? I think this is really a this KRAKEN Pro use USDT. It uses a bunch. You can trade in USD, you can trade in USDT, USDC. It just depends. But I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you buy a token and it's XRP and you buy it in USDT, you don't give a shit what happens with USDT. You just sell the token in USD. That's it. And you can always do that. Even if you buy it in USDT, you can sell the token back in USD into your regular account. It doesn't matter. On KRAKEN, it's got USD. So even if USDT went to zero and you bought XRP USD 10,000 tokens, and let's just say USD went to zero, you still got 10,000 tokens of XRP. It's worth zero if you turn it into XDT or USDT, but it's still worth, if it's USD. But anyhow, let me finish this point. So I think they're having their exit strategy. So while the market is all bent over backwards saying it's over, looks to me like this is a big inverse head and shoulders possibly developing right in front of us. And if this plays out, all of a sudden you're going to get these moves up. Now, I don't know how high we go, right? This is the thing. I don't know how high this goes. But I would suspect that if we have the right kind of rally, and let's just say the market does have the right kind of rally, that during this cycle, we should be able to get up. And I'm not saying we're going to get to 27 or anything. I think we should be able to get to 13.7. And just hear me out, because this is where it gets dicey. Let's just say we never get to where we think we're going. And right here is the end. It takes a series of months, right? And this is a little bit up. But let's just say we go up 160%, 170. Let's say it never comes out of here. And we go into a crypto winter because everybody's planning on these next steps. You get a clear down all the way down here. Now, I don't necessarily think that would be the last time it ever comes up, but look how long this could drag out. We're looking for that third hit. This, in theory, can drag out for XDC, and this isn't a joke. This is the same thing we did with XRP. This drags out. Look how far this could technically drag out. 2033. So what if it did do that the rest of the way? I don't think that's necessarily what's going to happen. I think we do hit these stages and maybe a lot more. But we need to see if we have a real cycle, because we have an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder building right in front of us, and a cup and handle building right in front of us. And this target would suggest 27.8 cents is what we should get to. So when some people ask me, Tom, how high do you think we can go? I think if this is a real push and we have an actual alt season, like if I'm being real and not trying to overestimate, I think we shouldn't have a problem getting up here if this happened correctly and ultimately pushing this cycle out. And that's almost 600%, but that's not where it's going to necessarily end. But I think for a while, this could be our window. Could be our window. Okay, so we only 6x, big deal. Or we 5x or 3. This could be our window. And after this, if everybody's leaving for the ETFs because they just don't want to deal with the crypto bullshit, which is why a lot of these exchanges are leaving the USA, especially the unregulated ones. They don't want to deal with the US tax laws or the regulations or their attack on crypto. So they've chosen to just ban all US users. And I think as we go farther along, and we're getting less and less options as the years go on, believe it, I think it drives out institutional money. I think it does the opposite. And now when the ETFs are available in the stock market, they simply buy these tokens without having to risk it on these exchanges. They buy it through ETFs and they have holdings. So now you can buy Doge, you can buy Solana, you can buy XRP, you can buy HBAR, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy Ethereum, you can buy all these damn tokens without having to take the risk of crypto. There's always risk in investment, but yeah, there's ridiculous amounts of fake XRP. You should have seen when I'm on exchanges. I started looking at some of these exchanges that I don't have an account on, that are some of the bigger ones. And like Bybit is not available in the USA. There's like 7 different XRP Future Millionaire attempts to have accounts there to try to lure people in. And I'm not even allowed to have it in my region. It won't even let me load. And it drives me nuts. On TikTok alone, there's thousands of XRP. There's pages that have more subscribers than my page. And then I get people that comment and say, he scammed me. Well, you were scammed by the scammer. So, and it's like, I didn't understand that at first when I started. I didn't realize that it was so prevalent. And now it's like, holy crap, I'm a nobody. And it's still, I don't even have 50,000 subscribers, and look how they're attacking my audience. Imagine if I had millions. Although we did break it over the hump, 47,800 plus subscribers. We were stuck at 47,001 and 200 for a while. So, yeah, text me. You definitely can. You send me a message. I'm a picture too. Yep. I know. It sucks. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know how many people are hacking in my name. Like I said, I don't know how much of my information's out there. That's why I can't show anything. Is your picture on those accounts as well? Oh yeah, they splice my image. There's one like with my picture with me and Julie that I have. They use that. Where me and Julie are, in a picture that I use. And then they use all my stuff. Yeah, it sucks, honestly. Is it true that China has banned crypto again? Possibly. And the carry trade in Japan is ending. So I think all ends are meeting. And guess what? You know why they would ban it in China? Because they know the USA is trying to do some it's weird stuff. Bans crypto. I'm telling you, this is going down a scary road. That's why. But yeah. It was bad. Because they did, from what I read, is they could see an increase in trading, so they literally got pissed. So I'll be right back. I'm going to check on my son because Julie's not here, and I don't want to end it just yet. I know it's been 50 minutes, but I don't want to end it just yet. I hope you guys feel the same. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Timer defined. Can you explain the Telegram link again for Gatman? Oh, yeah. So on YouTube, you come on here. You go. Whoops. For anybody who's a member of Tom's Army, if you're trying to get into the Telegram, you just go to the membership tab. It'll be under your perks. So if you go to your perks, I mean, it'll show it different for you if you're under here. But if you come here to the badges, there'll be a spot down here, and it'll have a section where it says exclusive Telegram. You just click on the link. That's all. But yeah, you have to go into there. It's the members only chat room. But yeah, you can go on there and get it. This is my account, so I can't just click it. But yeah, that's where you go on YouTube. It's very simplistic. I made it to where you couldn't find it. Melmac, because I am blacklisted, they shadow banned me on YouTube. They have since the beginning. Something about not buying into the narrative and accepting their little deal and yada yada. I don't want to get into it. You know how they say when you're favored by God, you're favored by the devil? I've been offered some pretty interesting things that could take my channel to a whole new level, and I've declined every step of the way, so it's got me shadow banned. You can go look at other ones that have bought into this. BitBoy was one of them that was about my size channel when they came in. Approached him at about 30,000 subscribers, and he bought a lot of people have. They take over your channel, you become an entity on your own platform that they can interchange, but they pay you a salary. So that's what I was offered, and I declined. It's not a cheap salary either. China doubles down on crypto ban after detecting new trading activity. China Central Bank reaffirms total crypto ban after detecting renewed trading activity. Targeting stablecoins is risk while Hong Kong stocks with digital assets exposure tumble sharply. So China Central Bank has reasserted its strict prohibition on crypto trading following signs of renewed speculation in virtual assets. The People's Bank of China convened a high-level meeting on November 28, 2025 with 13 government agencies to coordinate enforcement and crack down on illegal digital currency activities that have recently resurfaced despite years of sweeping bans. The meeting specifically flagged stablecoins as posing risk for money laundering, fraud, and illegal cross-border fund transfers. Officials emphasized that virtual currencies lack legal tender status and cannot function as money in China's markets, while related business activities constitute illegal financial conduct that undermines economic stability. According to Reuters, Hong Kong listed companies with crypto exposure saw sharp losses following the announcement of a renewed crackdown. Yunfeng Financial Group, which has been expanding into tokenization businesses, dropped more than 10% early Monday trading. Bright Smart Securities fell roughly 7%, while digital asset platform OSL Group lost over 5%. The sell-off reflected market fears that Beijing's hardline stance could derail Hong Kong's ambitions to become a digital asset hub. The city passed stablecoin legislation in May and received expressions of interest from more than 40 firms seeking licenses under its new regulatory framework, including major financial institutions like Circle and Standard Chartered. Liu Honglin, founder of Man Kun Law Firm, said the central bank statement has erased any ambiguity, speculation, and illusions around China's stablecoin policies, noting that regulators have drawn a concrete red line on what used to be a vague borderline. Despite China's comprehensive ban on crypto trading and mining since 2021, enforcement remains difficult. Recent data from Luxor's global hash rate map shows China still accounts for 14.05% of Bitcoin's total computing power, or roughly 140 exahash hashes per second, placing it third globally behind the United States and Russia. Authorities have uncovered multiple underground operations in recent months. In February, police dismantled a cross-border banking network that laundered over 136 million using crypto to bypass financial regulations. Investigators noted that 18 out of 49 underground banking cases in 2023 involved digital currency transactions, demonstrating how criminals adapt to exploit digital assets. In May, the central bank has also ordered social media platforms to shut down accounts promoting crypto trading. In May, the Cyberspace Administration of China closed more than a dozen accounts on Weibo, Douyin, and WeChat that were spreading false information and inducing citizens to participate in virtual currency transactions through offshore exchanges. So somebody asked the question, are they serious? I think they're serious. Similarly, in August, Chinese regulators instructed brokerages and research institutions to halt the publication of studies or the hosting of seminars on stablecoins. Local governments in Beijing, Suzhou, and Zhejiang have issued warnings about illicit fundraising linked to virtual currencies. At the same time, over-the-counter crypto trading volumes reached an estimated $75 billion in the first 9 months of 2024. Chinese officials have expressed particular concern about the global expansion of dollar-backed stablecoins, which they view as a strategic threat to the renminbi's internationalization. The sector's total market capitalization surpassed $300 billion, with Tether and USD coin processing over $27 million in settlements over the past year. So, I mean, yeah, I would say that there's something there. Before I leave, I wanted to make sure to stand long enough for the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It was at 23. Let's refresh it. 28. We've left extreme fear to fear. We've left extreme fear to fear. Yeah, this is I don't know. This could be a problem. And that's why I say I think this cycle, yeah, we do get a bull cycle, but it's not like everybody thinks. It's going to be a matter of if you bought it at the right time, because a 10x may not even get us back to where we were in January if you think about it with some things. Like a 10x right now on, well, maybe not 10x, but let's just say, look at it for example, like for IOTA, let's say we 5x from here. It gets you right back to where we had this little bleep on the radar earlier this year at 64 cents, right? It doesn't even get you back there. You'd have to do a 6x just to get back here. That's what I mean. So it's all about timing. Everything where it's at right now, I have this, it's not, the right feeling isn't orgasmic. It's more, what's that feeling? What's the right word? I have this invigorating feeling of what's to come only because we're buying at the appropriate levels. We didn't buy the dip to buy the dip. We bought the dip because it was an actual historical dip, kind of thing. We had liquidity sitting until we didn't, when we didn't need to have it sitting. Okay, the last thing I'll do, Frankie Fresh, is look at that long and short ratio, and then I'm gonna go help Julie. We got some stuff to do here with our son when he gets up, and blah blah blah. But let's do the long short ratio, and then we'll call it a day. Second live of the day. I appreciate all of you that stuck around, and I hope you learned something today. I really, 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 really do. So Bitcoin 24 hours, 50.75% going short, 49.25% going long. Remember earlier there was only like 400 million, not even, there was like $4 million or whatever difference between long and short. It was 50.02 to 49.98. Now, if it goes up, there's about $1.45 billion they can steal from the shorts going up. So there's a little bit of a differential here now. With Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's pretty dead even. So 50.16 to 49.84, 32.41 billion going long, 32.61 billion going short. Couple hundred million, but nothing major. No, not even 20 million, maybe. That's not a big difference. And then XRP, we've got pretty similar there too, 51.02% going short, 48.98% going long, which leaves about 12 billion or $12 million. That's not a lot. Not a lot, but there is more money to be taken in the up direction. It's not crazy, but there is some. There is some. This was a badass live. Great job. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Frankie Fresh, it's been awesome. All right, so an overcap of the live. Let's see, the best way to just give a quick review if you just came in. XRP, okay, so the best way to recap this in 30 seconds for anybody who came in. Bitcoin, we're trying to see if the market is bracing for one of two things. One, Bitcoin is coming back up for that rising wedge resistance tap, and the market is bracing for it. And it's going to have this appreciation with the altcoins up to 101K. Everything's going to start climbing up. That would allow XRP to climb up near 265 and some other things to do similar. And then is that setting the stage for a rejection and a drop down to 72,000 and some change? Or is this setting for the stage of a bottoming effect that now, because quantitative easing ended yesterday, or tightening ended yesterday, we go into quantitative easing, and then on December 9th, we have the Fed rate hike decision and or rate cut, which I think it's a guaranteed. Probably, this could be the 50 basis cut. So if we do something like that, it's going to stoke the market. It's going to absolutely stoke the market. And we have to prepare for the fact that with the advancing regulations and how much harder it's going to be to do non-KYC and to kind of, get in and out from other avenues for the bigwigs, I think we could get a transformation of traders going from crypto now that regulations are advancing, and they're going to find themselves in the ETFs and the stock market and play it safe. That's what I think is an important thing to discuss and to understand. And one last thing, the crypto fear and greed index went from 23 to 28 as it was updated at 7 p.m. And Joseph Euler on the way out, thank you so much for the gifted sub. And Tom's Arm for 6+ months with the XRP predictor. And Liam, congratulations for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on there. Don't forget to give thanks to Joseph. Thank you so much, Mr. Euler. And bless all of you. It's been a great, great live. It's been a great 2 lives today. And I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow morning, assuming everything is going right in the world with my son, which I'm thankful and blessed and hopeful that it will be. He's doing great right now. If he's at school, you'll see me. And then I'll be back tomorrow night as well. So